Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, left behind more than just his music. He left behind a legacy, a story, and a daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. For decades, fans have wondered where she found peace, where she lived her life away from the spotlight. Today, we take you inside the mansion where Elvis Presley's daughter once lived, a place full of secrets, memories, and an emotional connection to the man who changed music forever. The legacy of the king. Elvis Presley wasn't just a music icon, he was a global phenomenon. By the time he passed away in 1977, he had become the most influential figure in music history. But Elvis didn't just leave behind gold records and sold-out shows. He left behind Graceland, a mansion that became a symbol of his life, his style, and his soul. More importantly, he left behind his only child, Lisa Marie Presley. Lisa Marie was only 9 years old when her father died. She grew up surrounded by fame, money, and expectations. But what she craved most was a connection with the man the world loved so deeply. Over the years, Lisa Marie tried to build her own life, as a singer, a mother, and a businesswoman, while constantly being compared to her father. Despite her own achievements, Lisa's life was marked by heartbreak. From failed marriages to financial struggles and the tragic loss of her son, she often found herself retreating into quiet places, far away from public eyes. One of those places was a mansion that would become her safe space, her escape from the chaos of fame. This home wasn't just bricks and walls. It was where she cried, laughed, raised her children, and remembered her father. It became a sacred ground where the spirit of Elvis still seemed to live, not in ghostly form, but in memories, photos, music, and love. This is the story of that mansion, and of the woman who carried the Presley name into the modern world. Finding home in Hidden Hills. In the quiet and exclusive neighborhood of Hidden Hills, California, Lisa Marie found what she was looking for: privacy. After years of being chased by the media, Lisa moved into a beautiful mansion tucked away behind gates and surrounded by trees. It wasn't just a house. It was a place where she could finally breathe. The mansion was everything you'd imagine for the daughter of Elvis Presley. It had high ceilings, grand chandeliers, long hallways, and large windows that let the sunlight pour in. But it wasn't flashy or overdone. It felt like home, warm, lived in, filled with memories. Inside, the walls were decorated with family photos. Elvis holding Lisa as a baby, rare black and white shots from Graceland, and pictures of her own children. Her father's records were stacked beside a turntable, and his music often filled the rooms. This wasn't just a tribute. It was a living connection to the man who meant everything to her. In the corner of the living room stood a piano. Lisa would often sit there, writing music or simply playing melodies that reminded her of the songs her father used to sing. Sometimes, the house was filled with laughter as her kids ran through the halls. Other times, it was quiet, a peaceful silence that only those who have suffered great loss truly understand. Lisa wasn't trying to recreate Graceland. She was building her own version of it. A place where the Presley name didn't just mean fame. It meant family, healing, and holding on to the pieces of a broken past. A life of fame and pain. Living in a mansion didn't mean living a perfect life. For Lisa Marie, pain was never far away. Even as she smiled for cameras or walked red carpets, she carried the heavy burden of being Elvis's daughter. People expected her to be strong, to be successful, to live a dream life. But the truth was far more complicated. Her struggles with relationships became front-page news. She married pop legend Michael Jackson, then actor Nicolas Cage. But neither marriage lasted. Every time she tried to find love, the pressure of fame and the weight of her father's legacy made things harder. The mansion became her refuge. It was where she went to hide when things went wrong. When her finances took a hit and she was forced to sell parts of her father's estate, the mansion stood as one of the few things she still owned completely. It was her anchor. The darkest moment of her life came with the tragic death of her son, Benjamin Keough. He was her pride and joy, and his passing shattered her world. After that, the mansion became even more sacred. She filled it with his photos, kept his room untouched, and spent days locked away in grief. Neighbors said they would see her walking in the garden, silent and alone. But inside those walls, she kept trying to hold on, for her other children, for her father's memory, and for herself. The mansion became a symbol of survival, not just luxury.